Since the turn of the century, the Millennium Development Goals have guided global and national development efforts towards one main objective: eradicating poverty. But as the deadline for their achievement approaches, we need to review how this international collective effort can be sustained and improved in a changing global context. So the question arises, what next? Since 2009, the European Report on Development, supported by the European Commission and 7 EU member states, has explored major development topics, stimulating the global debate and informing policies. In 2013, this flagship independent report, drafted by a team of researchers from 3 European development institutes, looks at how a new post-2015 framework could stimulate global action to promote development and support the efforts of the poorest countries. The post-2015 framework will need to adapt to a world that is changing rapidly. Forecasts of economic, demographic and environmental trends all point to the urgent need for bolder and more radical approaches to global collective action. The report highlights the need to take action on 3 key drivers for development. Firstly, a new framework will require not only more financial resources, but also new ones and a better use of existing ones. Secondly, trade and investment are key to support efforts to diversify economies and create jobs in productive sectors to reduce poverty and inequality. And thirdly, the international community should agree on a global migration regime. Moving beyond the MDGs means setting new objectives for a post-2015 global framework that go beyond a poverty reduction approach, focused mainly on social sectors, to integrate new dimensions related to inequality, employment or sustainability. But it also means moving beyond the existing instruments to explore the often untapped potential of international flows such as trade, migration and investment, and support countries in mobilizing greater domestic resources. In the light of the new challenges, a post-2015 framework for development calls for a more transformative agenda. If poverty is to be eradicated, we need to tackle its roots. This calls for economic and social transformations that emphasize creating employment, addressing inequality and poverty in its various dimensions, and finding sustainable solutions. To achieve this, it will be key to ensure that global goals relate to national policy needs and targets, linking national and international efforts in a mutually supportive way. Global action will also need to be scaled up, for example in areas such as international finance, trade, migration and climate change. Enhancing policy coherence for development and continuing to increase both levels and effectiveness of aid. As part of this global effort, the EU has an important role to play. The post-2015 framework needs to build on the experience of the MDGs and keep the promise of the Millennium Declaration. Together, we can work to achieve an inclusive and sustainable future for all.